And for a layman or a fan, how can you define how your offense is different than maybe Phil Walsh's original West Coast team and what people know as a West Coast team?
I think, well, first of all, that is the original, and all the way from Cincinnati to the West Coast, and great history within that offense. And there's a lot of teams and a lot of terminology around the league that's directly derived from it. But I think as time has gone on, our offense, like a lot of offenses, there's a little bit of a mix and match of several different aspects of different systems. And there is some origin in the West Coast, but there's a pretty good mix of different things throughout the different places I've been, or different places that different coaches have been, that have morphed a lot of these offenses around the league into kind of what they are today.
Is Carson or Roger Craig then?
Hey, they're each individually unbelievable players, so yeah, in their own right.
You guys got Eskridge out there for a couple weeks now. So what are you seeing out of him as he gets up to speed with baseball?
Yeah, it's great to have him back out there. You can see the pep in his step once he's out there back on the grass, running, looks fast, got his aggressive hands, and really getting a chance to get his feet underneath him and doing more and more every day. So it's great to see him out there, and can't wait to see him keep growing and growing as he's getting more and more opportunities these last couple days.
What did he miss with the time that he was out?
I think just being out there and the communication of, one thing to know it in the classroom or in a walkthrough setting versus, hey, break the huddle, get out there and have to go right now. And he's done a great job with it. So just accumulating as many reps as we can for him and getting him feeling comfortable in the offense and where he's aligning and what his assignments are. He's done a great job so far, but there's no substitute for those live reps.
The work that he and Russell are doing, they say they're out here at 5:45, 6 a.m. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, they're out here. It won't be for a lack of effort, and he's putting all the work in and knows that he's the guy that wants to be out there every second he could, wasn't able to, and so he's doing everything the right way. And it's great to see Russell taking him under his wing and giving him the opportunity to learn from him and see the offense through his eyes. And I know they've spent a lot of time together, as Russ has done with a lot of the guys, outside of the framework of organized meetings or organized practices.
For context, how early is that compared to when a player would otherwise have to be here?
Pretty early. No, we have a lot of guys, though. I'll tell you what, for a place, like I've talked about it before, with seeing whether it's Bobby Wagner or a lot of our guys, we've got a lot of true pros that are here early and really understand how to operate on a day in and day out basis. And so those guys are two of a long list of guys that are doing the right thing all the time.
Cody Thompson's been here now for a couple of years. What has been your impression of him? He's gotten some run in the first team, snap in the first team games. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think he just continues to improve all the time. He's a great route runner. He's done a really good job of picking up the system right away. Been out there, all the time and able to play multiple spots. Does a great job in his one-on-ones, does a great job in the run game. So he's just someone that, you show up and he's going to put in a great day's work every day and just continue to grow.
Shane, what did you see from Colby Parkinson before he got hurt? I mean, it seemed like he was showing out for you guys about every day at practice. And how big of a blow is it going to be not having him here for a little bit?
Yeah, he's the tight end group as a whole has done such a good job of really picking things up and getting going. Coach McPherson's done a great job with those guys, and Colby was hitting his stride, and he'll continue to hit his stride. He's a guy that you talk about the off-season work and the preparation during COVID times or during times that aren't always easy to get everything done. He showed up ready to go and showed up in great shape. Knew the system inside and out before we even had our first meetings, and so he's just going to continue to grow. A little minor setback for him right here, but he'll be back, and he'll be back better than ever.
If you get the starters out there Sunday, Saturday, what would you like to see out of them?
Just great fundamentals, great fundamentals, being able to transfer. We've had so many good competitive periods in practice. Our defense challenges us every single day, so that's been a great experience for us to go against. So when it transfers from the practice field where we're getting more and more comfortable every day, transferring that right onto the field on game day, will be the most important next step in our process.
Shane, just what have you learned about Russ and the way he operates? You're around him kind of every day.
Yeah, I think, football is number one for him. Football's number one. I know he has. He's done a lot in his career already. He's got a lot of other things that go on outside of football, but football's number one, right? Football's number one. So he shows up early. He stays late. Everything you would hope and want from a quarterback, he delivers. So every day has been a pleasure to be around him, and it's been nothing but positive.
You guys added Travis Homer to the mix. Maybe what does he bring different? You talked about him being kind of unique in the back.
Yeah.
And then just, what's that competition like at running back in terms of all the depth now?
it's another position it's a great competition because so many guys have done such a nice job. You know, Travis, the first thing you see out here is how fast he is. You know, we'll see when everything gets going with pads on, all that stuff for him, when he can really let loose. But he's another guy, just like Colby's had some setbacks, but has been doing everything right to get back as quick as he can. He's in great shape right now, and you see it show up when he gets out there and gets a chance to start to get into the rhythm of football, not just workouts and rehab. So he's been doing a great job, and then the rest of the running backs have all been doing a phenomenal job with Alex and DJ showing up in the games in a multitude of ways right there, whether it's special teams, catching the ball, running the ball. So he's been you know, just a great pleasure to be around. You know, put another guy in DJ and Alex, same thing, Chris, all the running backs in that category of with Rashad Penny coming back too in the mix of just doing the right thing so consistently that they're starting to reap the rewards in these practice settings of understanding the system and really looking sharp.
Shane, given the fact you haven't played any of the ones yet in preseason games, how much of a sense do you have of what you guys are going to be just off of practices and stuff? Just from a big picture scale, do you have a good sense for this is what our offense is going to do?
Yeah, I do. I feel really good about where we're at. You know, we've been growing as an offense every single one of these practices, and just the ability, like I said, bringing back that competitive theme that's been so consistent around here. You know, the practices are in my mind game-like, and we've had so many of those experiences where we play these move the ball settings or, you know, play the offense versus defense in realistic game settings that you really start to have a really good feel for those, you know, for the guys that are playing well and how they're grasping it. And then other things that we need to keep working on and keep sharpening up before that first game starts.
What goes into deciding when to up the tempo in a game?
A lot of different things here. Can't give away all the secrets, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, just the feel within the game and players and what's going on within the course of a game.
What did you learn from Bill Belichick during the time you were around him?
Just an incredible attention to detail and you know, working hard. All the things that are the mantra over there from the do your job on. Just showing up every day and doing the best job at whatever your responsibility is that you can, and that's all you can worry about to be the best for the team.
What surprised you most about it? Maybe you weren't expecting when you went in.
Oh man, I was young and just trying to sit back and learn as much as I could. So I think I tried to do a good job of that. Learned a lot of things, grew a lot while I was there, and then being able to look back at that experience and really understanding now as I've gotten a little bit older, you know, how important that experience was and how many great things there were to take from not only him but a lot of the people in that locker room and guys like Larry Izzo and guys, you know, different guys that are you know, so influential in that program getting built.
How has Stone done in his time with the ones?
He's done great. He's fit right in. You know, he still has, you know, stuff to learn like every rookie does. Every player on the team has plenty of things that they can keep improving on. But I think the biggest thing I noticed was Stone, and obviously coming from a major program there, you know, it wasn't anything new for him to go in there, whether it was the first scrimmage at Lumen Field or in the preseason games. You know, his demeanor, his mannerisms, hey, all the same, whether it's out on the practice field or going out to game day.
Decided on box or field in terms of where you're going to call plays from?
Yeah, I settled a little bit being on the field there, just having that ability to communicate with the guys instantly when everything's going on. I think has been helpful and going to continue to work at it that way.
Rashad Penny only got to play in 3 games last year. He got a few snaps the other night. As a coordinator, what do you think is the biggest key to really maximize his skill set?
Yeah, I think both guys bring such a great great value to the running back spot. And I think the good thing about Rashad, as I've gotten to know him a little bit more, is just getting him out there, getting him more reps. Because like anything else, you know, practice is the way you can hone your skills. And then obviously those invaluable game reps. It was great to get him out there for a little bit in the preseason game this past week. So I think continuing to learn, you know, what he does best, which is a little bit of everything, like a good, well-rounded running back. But it has been good to see him and see how well he can also play in the pass game. Just different things, like I said, just being around him more and more and having limited exposure to him, you know, outside of, you know, remembering him being such a great back in college, and now just getting a better feel for him day in and day out.
Anything else, guys?
All right, appreciate it. See you guys.